Hey guys, my name is Latoya Smith of LatoyaDsmith.com, and I'm excited to welcome you to my new video series. So I have blogged, I've started podcasts, and I actually even tried to start a blog last year, but I decided that because it was more of me experimenting and doing it to challenge myself and not really to give value, that it wasn't really serving me in the way that would make me want to continue doing it, and so I stopped. But I had the idea to start a new video series because I found that what inspired me the most as an aspiring full-time entrepreneur, as someone who has a couple of different side hustles, is that I need to see the journey. I love going back and watching old Marie Forleo videos, going back and see the first Shameless Maya videos where she didn't have all the fancy lighting and equipment, and even listening to Courtney Sanders of Think and Grow Chick and seeing the first videos that she put out on YouTube. That's just really humbling to me because it shows me that even the people that you admire the most, they started somewhere too. And I get a lot of questions of, Latoya, how do you manage a full-time job, being a mom and a wife and having different side hustles? How do you do all that? And to be quite honest with you, I don't have like a solid answer. I just know that it is a journey. But hopefully I can show you bits and pieces of my journey and some of my behind the scenes to show you that everything isn't as glamorous and glossy as it may look on Facebook and Instagram, that it truly is a journey. So today I want to start off by introducing myself a little bit and telling you 10 things about me. So number one, I am left-handed, and so I use both hands when I speak, but I don't know, I think I started with my left hand. But I haven't felt that being left-handed has disadvantaged me in any sort of way. I guess it's because I've assimilated into the right-handed world a lot. I even have, all of my scissors, I'm pretty sure that they're right-handed scissors. I think I've used left-handed scissors like in school before, but it just felt weird because I'm just so used to, using right-handed stuff. So number two, I used to play saxophone in middle school. I really loved playing the saxophone. I thought it was like a really smooth and sexy sort of instrument that sounded really pretty. It wasn't really the case for me starting out, and especially as a middle schooler, but I could play that hot cross buns, better believe that, and it was cool to say that I knew how to play an instrument. Number three, I am an engineer. That is my full-time job. That is what really pays the bills. I graduated from the University of South Carolina, go Gamecocks, with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and now I work as a quality engineer up here in Greenville, South Carolina. Number four, my husband and I, when we were talking about having kids, it was good that we both agreed that we wanted to have kids because, that might have been a problem, but we said that we wanted 3 kids. Now that we have Kent, I can tell you that that number's probably looking around staying at 1. Because he is enough. We love him with our whole heart, and I'm sure, every now and again I'm like, oh, I wish I could have a mini me, like a little girl. Maybe we could try for a girl. But then there are days, especially now that we started kindergarten, I'm like, I think 1 is good. So number 5, condiments are not required. I really do not like putting condiments on anything, especially not ketchup on my French fries. I don't really use mayonnaise. I don't really like the way it tastes. I'm sorry, that's mustard. Actually both. I don't know. We use vegan mayonnaise in this house, even though I don't really put it on a lot of things. But I just feel like if you have to put condiments on anything, it means that the food isn't really well seasoned on its own. And so yeah, I don't really like condiments like that. They're not required for me. Number 6, I don't like extremes, and I feel like I'm saying things that I don't like, but anyway, I don't like extremes. Like, how when you are taking those quizzes and they say extremely like or extremely dislike, I don't pick the ones on the end. I don't like extremes. I always fall somewhere in the middle because I think it's my open-mindedness, but I really don't like committing to an extreme. I just don't like doing it. Number 7, I do not watch TV, and I think that came about when I was in the 11th grade. I went to the Governor's School for Science and Math, South Carolina Governor's School for Science and Math, and we only had one TV on our floor in our little common area. And so after that, I realized I didn't really have the urge or desire to watch TV that much because I didn't really have access to it. And so afterwards, I just never had a TV in my room, even in college. With the exception of I do watch Insecure and I do watch Orange is the New Black faithfully every season. And I think that's why it seems like I have more time to do things that I like to do, that I really just don't ever sit down and just watch a program. Number 8, and this one's a little personal, but I used to think that I would never have anything that I could teach someone else. Now, I went to school for engineering, and even though I feel like, the STEM disciplines are really important to teach kids nowadays, they all are, but it's really important to, especially for minority students, to get exposure to the STEM disciplines. I never really felt an inkling to really teach that. Now, if I go to a school and the topic is on STEM, I will gladly share that with the students, because I think exposure to anything, I like for them to make that decision of what they want to do. But for me, I never found it to be my life calling to teach engineering. And so I felt like, well, if this is what I know, then what am I supposed to teach? And it's really funny because now I've fallen in love with the hobby of photography and then made it my business as a photographer. And now I'm able to give back and teach what I learned in my early stages. And I really feel like I'm walking in my purpose more now. I'm really connecting with a lot more women who have not only interest in photography, but interest in building other side hustles and building other revenue streams. And I just really am glad that I've gone through the things that I've gone through and journeyed where I have to be able to find this now, because I used to think I would never find it. Number 9, I became a mom at the ripe age of 22 and got married at 25, and my husband was 27. And I find this important to note in my personal journey, because I used to think that life would be on this linear trajectory, and that was so not the case. I had no idea that I would have a child before marriage. I never thought that would happen for me. I never thought that I would get married to my husband. He was just not the person initially that I had in my mind as the picture perfect man that I would marry. But he was so much better, because I'm just gonna say it, what I had in mind before, it just wasn't cutting it for me. So I just want you guys to know that it doesn't matter what happens in your life, you can always bounce back. You can always do exactly what you said you were going to do, no matter if you are a young mom, no matter if you have to take a job that pays less than you wanted to, just because you find yourself in a position that didn't really fit the mold that you thought would. Sometimes life just happens, and it says more about you if you bounce back and you turn around and you say, you know what, I'm going to take the situation and I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to do what I have to do, and I'm going to get back on path, because that's exactly what I did. And I can honestly say that if I just sort of wallowed in pity and just felt like, my fairy tale life isn't going as planned, then I would not be here recording this video right now. I would not have this equipment to record it with. I would not be in this house. I would not be married. I would not have the wonderful child that I have today. Nothing exists by coincidence. Everything has a purpose and a plan, and I strongly believe that. So take that for however it applies to your life, but just know that no matter how your life goes, just keep going. Keep going. And number 10, let me get my notebook because I want to make sure that I say this right. So this is important. Listen up. I have had 5 different businesses / side hustles, 4 different blogs, and currently 2 businesses that I'm currently building and growing. Why is this important? I have done it all. I have resold clothes, created an online boutique, made DIY sneakers that I sold. I did it all. I still have my sewing machine upstairs that I don't even use. I still have art supplies, I don't know what it's even called now, but I've tried it all, y'all. I've done a lot of different things. And even with my blogs, I started out with a blog on Tumblr called Led Back to Love, which was my blog that I started when I found out that I was expecting. And it was all of my emotional rants, all of my feelings about having a child, especially being a young mother. I was 21 whenever I was expecting Kent. I transitioned from Led Back to Love to Blogspot. I moved Led Back to Love to Blogspot, and it really came about me maturing as a mom. And then it transitioned to The Kentologist, which was when Kent was a toddler, and we had him all these brand reps and brand exchanges where we would get the clothes and we'd take pictures and send it to them and get discounts on clothes. And he used to have like all these brands that he would be representing, and I had him on the website. So we went there, and then I moved to Latoya D Smith, which was more so relating to millennial moms and trying to show you guys how to grow side hustles. And now Latoya D Smith, I feel, is really more aligned with what I'm really good at, what my strengths are, but I also want to introduce the element of the journey because I think that's so important, and that's why I've started this video series. So I just wanted to share that with you because everything is a journey. You trial and you error, you fail, you find out things that you hate, you find out things that you love, you find out things that are in between that you wouldn't mind trying again, but maybe at this time, it doesn't fit. Had I just stopped with one thing that didn't work for me, I would have let myself down. I would have sold myself short. I want you to not get discouraged because you are at a place right now where you're trying to figure it out, because I'm still figuring it out. Everyone is always trying to figure it out. If you're not finding ways to make things better, then you have no shot anyway. So we always have to be thinking of ways that we can improve ourselves, ways that we can find more alignment with the things that we work on. And so that's what my journey is about. It's always finding, how do I test stuff? How do I trial and error things to get better each time and find out what I really am good at? What side hustle do I really want to start? What do I want my blog to be about? Am I really good enough to take photos? Yes, you are. That's all a part of the journey. That's what I want to show you guys in this video series. And I hope that with each and every video that I put out, that you see that journey. And that one day, maybe a year from now, 5 years from now, when you go back and you see this very first video, and you can say, I remember when Latoya put that very first video out and how nervous she probably looked on camera and how her lighting was kind of janky and whatever else you may say about this video. I don't care. As long as you receive the message. And the message is that it's all in the journey, and I can't wait for you to take this with me.